to my YouTube channel. So following the previous sessions, it has just been introductions. So now we are going to be talking about the writing task 1. Yeah, we're going to delve into the models itself. So this is going to be more like a step-to-step thing. So I'm going to really start from the root, and then we are going to go up. So at the end of the sessions, you'll be able to write a very good writing task or a very good writing module. You'd be able to score very great in your reading as well, your speaking and your listening too. Okay, so let's just move on to our writing task 1. Okay, so talking about the writing task, we have 2 writing tasks, and we have the writing task 1 and writing task 2. We'll talk about the writing task 2 later. So today, this episode is about the writing task 1. So ideally, what is the writing task about? What is the writing task about? So what the writing task is about, or you are required to do, is they want to see that you are able to write something that's can be comprehended. That is, if I should pick your write-up, I should be able to read and understand what you're trying to communicate to me. So that is what they are looking out for. They are looking out for your ability to be able to write something that when another person reads, they'll be able to comprehend grammatically. They'll be able to see the comprehension. They'll be able to see how you're able to use your sentence structures, your verbs, your noun, your adverbs, your adjectives, and everything. So don't worry, I'm going to take you through. So let's look at the basics of writing task 1. Looking at writing task 1, the basics. So what is the writing task 1? So the writing task 1 is the part of the IELTS where you are being required to describe. It's more like a descriptive thing. It is not, let's not just say more like, it is a descriptive essay, more like a descriptive essay. So you are required to look at something and then describe it. So the difference between the task 1 and the task 2 is with the task 1, you are always given a diagram, you are always given a chart, you are always given a graph, something to look on to describe. So what it means is that if I am your examiner and then I take your essay or your write-up, I should be able to understand whatever diagram that was provided to you without stressing myself, without straining. So if I should see a pie chart and I see your write-up should be able to tell me what the pie chart is about. You should be able to describe what the pie chart is about and give me clear understanding of the pie chart without me struggling to understand it. I believe we understand. So it's more like you are expanding something. You are given something to describe, to expatiate on, that when people see, they know that, of course, you do understand what you were doing, you understand what you were saying, and what you say or said or wrote in your write-up actually matches with what they are seeing on the diagram. So looking at the writing task first, I'm going to be showing you how the paper for the writing task looks like, the exam answer sheet. So on your screen is an example of the exam answer sheet that you're supposed to be using for the writing task 1. So you have your candidate's name, candidate's number. Sometimes people get too worried. Don't worry about the candidate's number. Sometimes when you go to the center, your candidate's number is written on the desk you are going to be using, except probably if you want to use computer, but this is for those that want the paper-based IELTS. So on your screen is the sample answer sheet for writing task 1. So what are the main basics? What are the basics? I know it is English, but there are some technicalities that when we understand, it would help us to get the required score for any organization that we are applying for. So sorry, looking at the answer sheet. So let's move on as we're moving on. So what is the task 1? What are we required to do? So the task 1 is a descriptive essay, and it involves getting about either of 5 charts, either of 5 diagrams. You get either one of the following to describe. So you can have a pie chart, you can have a bar graph, You can as well have a histogram, you can have a linear graph, and then you can have maps and then processes. So I would put all on the screen for you to see. So this is how a pie chart looks like. This is how a bar graph looks like. This is how a map looks like. This is how a processing or a cycle looks like. And also you can have tables. So this is how a table looks like. You can have a single table to describe, or you can have a table paired with the other chart. So you can have a table and a pie chart, a table and a linear graph, and a table and a bar graph. So these are the things that could be given to you to describe in your writing task 1. So what are the requirements for your writing task 1 if you're describing this? So some of the requirements, one requirement is that you are required to write 4 paragraphs. So your writing task 1 needs 4 paragraphs. So if I say 4 paragraphs, it means that you need 4 bulleted, you don't bullet it, but let's say indented. Is either you indent or you leave spaces to show your paragraph. So you need 4 main paragraphs in your writing task, and it should be at least 150 words. 150 words at least. But sometimes said at least 150 words, but not should not be more than 200 or 220 words. Why? Because it will end up being a lengthy essay, and then it will bore the examiner actually. So you're supposed to write at least 150 words, but not more than 220 or 200. It should at least be feasible between 150 to 200 words. Also, apart from the 4 paragraphs, what do you need to do? So your task 1 gives you specific instructions. It gives you specific instructions. So I'll put one question on the screen for us to see. So on the screen, you can see the question, and that under the question, under the title, there is a title which is in bold, and under the title, there is another instructions that have been given to you. Kindly pay attention to every instructions on the question paper to know at least what you are required to do. So looking at the question, the instructions on it says that summarize. It says summarize relevant information and make. So it's comparisons where relevant. So summarize. So I've just paraphrased it. So it is asking you to describe it, yes, but it is asking you not to describe everything you are seeing on the graph. It is just asking you to describe some of the relevant. So if you look at a graph, if you look at a chart, if you look at whatever diagram they give to you, there are certain details in those graphs that are actually relevant, that are different, that looks peculiar, and then there are some that looks the difference, as I said. So they are asking you to be able to note these relevant informations and then make comparison where relevant, and you're supposed to summarize. That means that you don't have to give everything you are seeing on the graph. Literally, it's not like you are wrong when you describe it that way, but that is the instruction. They want concise write-up, a concise write-up that has been that has the relevant informations included, and comparisons has been made where necessary. So and our bullet point, the first point to note about a writing task is that it is a descriptive, more like a descriptive essay. And then with the task 1, you are given a diagram to look on to describe. Your words should be at least 150 words, but not more than 220 or 230. It should be between 150 to 200. And also, your write-up should be summarized and concise, making sure the relevant informations are in there, and then comparisons made where relevant or where necessary. Okay, so knowing that, let's move on. Now we say we have 4 body paragraphs. We have 4 paragraphs, sorry, that needs to be in your write-up. So we need 150 words, yes, but they have to be divided into 4. That 150 needs to be divided into 4. No, it doesn't mean that each paragraph should be 150 words. No, for the 4 paragraphs should sum up to 150 words. So what comprises of these 4 paragraphs? We have the title or the topic, we have the overall or the overview or the conclusion. We also have the body paragraph A and the body paragraph B, or body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. So this is the arrangement for your IELTS Writing Task 1. It doesn't matter which of the diagrams or the charts you get, you have to follow this basic principle. It applies for all the charts you get. So your topic or your title, your overview, overall, or your conclusion, and then your body paragraph A or 1, the body paragraph B or 2. So let's delve deep into what these require. So what is required in this is that with your writing task title, that is what comes first as I've arranged. So with your title, let's have an example. So your title is just the only thing on your paper that doesn't require you to describe. I don't know if you understand. Like, it is the only part that doesn't require you to describe. It is the only part that has been actually done for you. Let me just say that. So what constitutes the topic? What constitutes the title? What constitutes the title is the title you are seeing on your question paper. For example, up here. So the topic would be the chart below or the diagram below gives information about ... That is your title. That is your topic. It has already been given to you. Now, what are you required to do? The only thing you are required to do is to rephrase that topic in your write-up. So in your write-up, your title is going to be a rephrase of the topic in the question. I believe it's we are making progress. So what that means that I am just looking at the topic in my question, and then I am reproducing or replicating it in my write-up. But this time around, I am supposed to rephrase them. So I am supposed to write it again, but using different words. So the nouns that can be replaced, I would have to replace them. Nouns that cannot be replaced, I will leave it as they are. So for example, if we are given a diagram or a topic that says that the diagram below gives information